Okay, this is recording. This is Movement Monday for the first Movement Monday of 2017. Super excited that we are all here. Hopefully we'll have a couple more people joining us. This will be recorded, as you know, and this is January 2nd of 2017. I just told the girls, but I will say it again. Normally we just talk about JAFRA and JAFRA stuff, and that is what we're doing tonight, but I wanted to play a 20-minute TED Talk from a gentleman named Simon Sinek. I'm not sure exactly how you say his last name, but it is about, his topic is how great leaders inspire action. And as we're building our teams, this is something that we need to dial into. We have to figure out how to inspire the women around us or the men around us to become, to be active in their business and to grow so we can all grow together this year. You guys can choose to mute yourselves during the video if you want, just so there's no background, or you can stay live if you're quiet in the background, that's fine too. But hopefully you will find this as inspiring as I did. And then after it's over, and if you guys, if we want to stop in the middle, or if anyone has to stop or ask a question, I can always pause it. Yeah, raise your hand. I can always pause the video, and we can back it up or whatnot because it is recording. And then, but if you don't have a big question, wait till the end, and then we're going to talk about how it applies to JAFRA and put together our 30-second commercial or our story, what we're doing, how we're talking about our business, and when we're sharing it, how we're sponsoring people and working through all that. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. And if you guys have any trouble at all hearing this, just let me know. Otherwise, I will just play it and off we go. Anybody have questions before I start? Yes, no, maybe? All right, here we go.
How do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that's...
Okay, hold on a second.
All of the assumptions. For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition, and yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agents. Turns out all the great and...
Yes, Gail. I can't hear you because you're muted.
Maybe
I couldn't hear it.
No, I couldn't either.
Okay,
no, I can't either.
All right, let me try it again. 1 second.
I was thinking maybe you need to let it catch up. Sometimes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So I'm going to turn up my sound too. That might have be part of it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to play it for just a second and see if you guys can hear it.
Competition, and yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. And why is it that they seem to have something different?
Okay, can you hear that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. All right. And I made it smaller because it's a clearer picture. Is that okay? Can you guys still see it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered man flight? The Wright brothers beat them to it. There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operated it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way. And it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Yeah. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done. That's how most sales is done. And that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do. We say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You ready to buy a computer from me? All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. They're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into three major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. You know, sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures, and you say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart, or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't the other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal and want to be a part of what it is that you do? Again, the goal is not just to sell people who need what you have. The goal is to sell to people who believe what you believe. The goal is not just to hire people who need a job. It's to hire people who believe what you believe. I always say that, you know, if you hire people just because they can do a job, they'll work for your money. But if you hire people who believe what you believe, they work for you with blood and sweat and tears. And nowhere else is there a better example of this than with the Wright brothers. Most people don't know about Samuel Pierpont Langley. And back in the early 20th century, the pursuit of powered man flight was like the .com of the day. Everybody was trying it. And Samuel Pierpont Langley had what we assume to be the recipe for success. I mean, even now, you ask people, why did your product or why did your company fail? And people always give you the same permutation of the same three things. Undercapitalized, the wrong people, bad market conditions. It's always the same three things. So let's explore that. Samuel Pierpont Langley was given $50,000 by the War Department to figure out this flying machine. Money was no problem. He held a seat at Harvard and worked at the Smithsonian and was extremely well connected. He knew all the big minds of the day. He hired the best minds money could find, and the market conditions were fantastic. The New York Times followed him around everywhere, and everyone was rooting for Langley. And how come we've never heard of Samuel Pierpont Langley? A few hundred miles away in Dayton, Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright. They had none of what we consider to be the recipe for success. They had no money. They paid for their dream with the proceeds from their bicycle shop. Not a single person on the Wright brothers team had a college education, not even Orville or Wilbur. And the New York Times followed them around nowhere. The difference was Orville and Wilbur were driven by a cause, by a purpose, by a belief. They believed that if they could figure out this flying machine, it would change the course of the world. Samuel Pierpont Langley was different. He wanted to be rich, and he wanted to be famous. He was in pursuit of the result. He was in pursuit of the riches. And lo and behold, look what happened. The people who believed in the Wright brothers' dream worked with them with blood and sweat and tears. The others just worked for the paycheck. And they tell stories of how every time the Wright brothers went out, they would have to take 5 sets of parts because that's how many times they would crash before they came in for supper. And eventually, on December 17th, 1903, the Wright brothers took flight. And no one was there to even experience it. We found out. And further proof that Langley was motivated by the wrong thing, the day the Wright brothers took flight, he quit. He could have said, that's an amazing discovery, guys, and I will improve upon your technology. He didn't. He He wasn't first. He didn't get rich. He didn't get famous. Oh. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And if you talk about what you believe, you will attract those who believe what you believe. And why is it important to attract those who believe what you believe? Something called the law of diffusion of innovation. And if you don't know the law, you definitely know the terminology. The first 2.5% of our population are our innovators. Next, 13.5% of our population are our early adopters. The next 34% are your early majority, your late majority, and your laggards. The only reason these people buy touch-tone phones is because you can't buy rotary phones anymore. We all sit at various places at various times on the scale, but what the law of diffusion of innovation tells us is that if you want mass market success or mass market acceptance of an idea, you cannot have it until you achieve this tipping point between 15 and 18% market penetration, and then the system tips. And I love asking businesses, what's your conversion on new business? And they love to say, oh, it's about 10% proudly. Well, you can trip over 10% of the customers. We all have about 10% who just get it. That's how we describe them, right? That's like that gut feeling, oh, they just get it. The problem is, how do you find the ones that just get it before you're doing business with them versus the ones who don't get it? So this little gap that you have to close, as Jeffrey Moore calls it, crossing the chasm. Because you see, the early majority will not try something until someone else has tried it first. And these guys, the innovators and the early adopters, they're comfortable making those gut decisions. They're more comfortable making those intuitive decisions that are driven by what they believe about the world and not just what product is available. These are the people who stood online for 6 hours to buy an iPhone when they first came out. You could have just walked into the store the next week and bought one off the shelf. These are the people who spent $40,000 on flat screen TVs when they first came out, even though the technology was substandard. And by the way, they didn't do it because the technology was so great. They did it for themselves. It's because they wanted to be first. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. In fact, people will do the things that prove what they believe. The reason that person bought the iPhone in the first 6 hours, or stood in line for 6 hours, was because of what they believed about the world and how they wanted everybody to see them. They were first. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So let me give you a famous example, a famous failure and a famous success of the law of diffusion of innovation. First, the famous failure. It's a commercial example. As we said before a second ago, the recipe for success is money and the right people and the right marketing conditions, right? You should have success then. Look at TiVo. From the time TiVo came out about 8 or 9 years ago to its current day, they are the single highest quality product on the market. Hands down, there is no dispute. They're extremely well funded. Market conditions were fantastic. I mean, we use TiVo as a verb. Like TiVo stuff on my piece of junk Time Warner DVR all the time. TiVo's a commercial failure. They've never made money. And when they went IPO, their stock was at about $30 or $40 and then plummeted, and it's never traded above 10. In fact, I don't think it's even traded above 6, except for a couple of little spikes. Because you see, when TiVo launched their product, they told us all what they had. If we have a product that pauses live TV, skips commercials, rewinds live TV, and memorizes your viewing habits without you even asking. And the cynical majority said, we don't believe you, we don't need it, we don't like it, you're scaring us. What if they had said, if you're the kind of person who likes to have total control over every aspect of your life, boy, do we have a product for you. It pauses live TV, skips commercials, memorizes your viewing habits, etc., etc. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and what you do simply serves as the proof of what you believe. Now let me give you a successful example of the law of diffusion of innovation. Summer of 1963, 250,000 people showed up on the Mall in Washington to hear Dr. King speak. They sent out no invitations, and there was no website to check the date. How do you do that? Well, Dr. King wasn't the only man in America who was a great orator. He wasn't the only man in America who suffered in a pre-civil rights America. In fact, some of his ideas were bad. but he had a gift. He didn't go around telling people what needed to change in America. He went around and told people what he believed. I believe, I believe, I believe, he told people. And people who believed what he believed took his cause and they made it their own, and they told people. And some of those people created structures to get the word out to even more people. And lo and behold, 250,000 people showed up on the right day, on the right time to hear him speak. How many of them showed up for him? 0. They showed up for themselves. It's what they believed about America that got them to travel on a bus for 8 hours to stand in the sun in Washington in the middle of August. It's what they believed. And it wasn't about black versus white. 25% of the audience was white. Dr. King believed that there are 2 types of laws in this world, those that are made by a higher authority and those that are made by man. And not until all the laws that are made by man are consistent with the laws that are made by the higher authority will we live in a just world. It just so happens that the civil rights movement was the perfect thing to help him bring his cause to life. We followed him not for him, but for ourselves. And by the way, he gave the I have a dream speech, not the I have a plan speech. Listen to politicians now with their comprehensive 12-point plans. They're not inspiring anybody. Because there are leaders and there are those who lead. Leaders hold a position of power or authority, but those who lead inspire us. Whether they're individuals or organizations, we follow those who lead, not because we have to, but because we want to. We follow those who lead, not for them, but for ourselves. And it's those who start with why that have the ability to inspire those around them and find others who inspire them. Thank you very much.
Anybody else going, oh my goodness?
Yes.
I was listening to that and I was like, holy cow, if we need to just completely transform this into a JAFRA. I mean, Jackie talks about it. We've talked about it. They talk about, she's talked about what's your why, the why. But I've never really heard it why we have to find our why, So for me, it was just, it made me tear up. It made me like my stomach turned over a couple of times. It was just like, holy cow, this is why we do this. This is why we look for a why. What is our story? What are we dreaming about and going for that makes us attractive to other people and that makes JAFRA attractive to other people? Because like he was saying, leaders are people in power. Those who lead are leading other people who want to be with us for themselves, not for us, right? But they're attracted to what, in our case, what JAFRA is, the opportunity and what it will do for your life, how it will change your life, not what it does from my pocketbook, that's an old term, what it does for my bank account, whatever. It's not about, yes, of course, people join our team and if our team grows, we make money and we reach our goals and it's a positive thing for us. But more than that, it's life-changing for them. And I think, it has to be, as Jackie says all the time, what's in it for them? What's in it for them? What's in it for them? Not what it's in it for us, what's in it for them. And that sometimes, the message can get garbled if we don't really focus on what's in it for them. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the last couple of months of the year, Scott had been talking about what's your why? What pushes you to get out of bed? What pushes you? Is it that benefit, whatever that benefit is? But when you share that enthusiasm behind that why, that's why people want to be a part of what your movement. Because it's not about you. It's like, wow, I want to be a part of that. I want to go here. I want to go there. I want to have the flexibility. I want to be home with my kids. I'd like to go to lunch with my friends. I love makeup, so when we share what our why is, why we get up, why we do what we do, because there's a lot of I think women typically justify every behavior under the sun, but when we share why we're excited about something, people want to be a part of that.
Mhm. I think sometimes too, Rhonda, I know I use you as an example all the time, but she would be talking to somebody, listening to what they wanted, and she knows and she believes that JAFRA can help somebody in any situation that they are. So what you do, Rhonda, is you listen to what they're saying and what they want and why they want it, and then you say to them, and I have something that can help you lose weight, if you're hungry, if you need money, whatever it is, if you want to feel pretty, if you need makeup, if you want a friend, I have something that could do that for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, and she does that all the time. And I think you just do it. You don't even realize you're doing it, but when I watch you,
It comes out.
yeah. And so people, like he said, people are buying into the fact that she has something that can help them. What is it? You know, and
she's
which
not
is
just
cool.
finding their why, she's filling their why.
Exactly.
Find the need and fill it.
Right, exactly. So that's, and I think that what I believe is, and I maybe can speak for other people too, is that I know what I know that JAFRA can do, because it's done it for me and for other people. So that's what I believe. And I believe that JAFRA can, you know, help everybody, whatever your why is, or whatever you're looking for. If it's just for a momentarily, for a very spontaneous thing, or if it's something to change your life, whatever it is, JAFRA, it can do that for you. You know, we get up. I mean, I get up every morning to JAFRA is the vehicle that God uses for me to bless people. How can I bless people today, Lord? What do I have? What does JAFRA have? Why am I in JAFRA? I've questioned that a million times. And those of you who've been in JAFRA for a long time, like, am I really, this is really what I'm supposed to be doing? Really? Is this where you want me to be? Is this not making any money this month? What, you know, what's going on? But it is. It's there because of the heart and the love that JAFRA has. You know, people buy into that. That's what they're looking for. They're buying into that hour where they don't have to worry about, you know, their problems. They're buying into that hour where they can network and be with their girlfriends and have a good time. They're buying into that. So that's what we offer.
I think it's really, especially in the English division, in general market, we are up against or competing with, or however you want to say it, with a bunch of other companies out there that are also buying for the English market, general market business. And there's a lot online, and I mean, we're constantly bombarded with all these different companies. So for us, we have to brand ourselves differently and more in a more real, personal way to stand out. Because I don't think that talking about how great a product we have, so is everyone else. They're all saying the same thing, and the consumer doesn't have a clue. They don't, and on the flip side of that, they don't really care. I mean, because they're hearing so much of it that until they actually try it, it's not going to make any difference what we think about our product. I mean, there are other good skincare products out there, so we can't just say we have the best. Well, we believe it is the best option for them because of royal jelly, et cetera, et cetera. But that's, like he was saying, that's the what. That's the you know, the how. That's not why we're in JAFRA. That's not exactly. I mean, it's part of it, but that's not why we stay. That's not like you're saying. It's not why we get out of bed in the morning. It's not because of royal jelly. Oh, I'm going to get out of bed because I got to put royal jelly on. That's the only reason I'm getting out of bed. No, you get out of bed because you love what you do, and you love this company, and you love the opportunity, and you love the women in the group. So, you know, it's different.
And I love the example he used with the Apple iPhone, because I remember when they came out with their new phone, they would show you how great the camera was on that phone, and they would take pictures of like people with their families, and you know, you could have this moment forever. And I was like, I want a new phone. I have one. I want that. So it's so true. You never even realize the
marketing
process behind it.
TiVo, I mean, seriously, TiVo, I mean, I remember when that came out, and I was like, oh, that's Interesting. Okay, moving on. Because it wasn't in our. Nobody knows. They don't care
Right.
about royal active
Right.
peptide. They don't know or care what that is.
Exactly.
But it's us that they're going to respond to, and our belief and our dream, like he's saying, that's what they're going to respond to, and that's what we've got to complete mind shift. Our this year, especially, I think. I mean, it's for both markets, but I think especially in the English and general market, we've got to shift because what we've been doing is not working. So we have to move to a new direction and a new focus and try something different. And I think that's what Ignite is about, is about talking to people and connecting with people on a very real, very personal level about what is in it for them. Not, I mean, yes, it's about money. Yes, it's about our wonderful product, but more about the dreams,
Right. I mean, I always what I try to do is try to sell the lifestyle that JAFRA has given and can give, because I know what it can do.
Yeah.
Why?
Right. That's my why, because it gives me a beautiful lifestyle. So, I mean, I don't know. If we can, I'd like to kind of maybe go around table and find out what is it? What do you think the why is in JAFRA other than the product? We know it's about the recognition, and we know is that what he's talking about? Like all the travel, the camaraderie,
the trinkets.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Would that be considered one of the whys?
I think it is for some people.
Yeah, I think
would that be a what?
Say that again, please. Maria.
Would that be a what in the what category, or would that be in a why category?
Well, it might be in the what category, but I think that a lot of people don't get recognition. They're working hard. They don't get any recognition for things that they're doing at work. Sometimes people don't even get personal recognition from their family. And so I think that, we're very, very fortunate in the fact that JAFRA recognizes us for so much that we do. I mean, you get a little card in the mail, woohoo, you made, whatever it is, you achieved this level. So I think it might be a what level for, in this scenario, but I think for people who don't have the recognition, it might be also a why.
I think it would, right, because when I'm listening to you, I'm thinking instead of being the recognition, it would take it a step further and be the value and the worth that they feel from whatever. That's what they're looking for. I need to feel worthy and I need to feel valued. And the way that JAFRA does that for me is that it gives me beautiful jewelry or beautiful whatever it is, dishes or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to bring it to a level in my mind so that when I'm talking to somebody, because I don't really think it's about the tangible, it goes deeper than the tangible rewards.
Right.
It goes deeper than
I think it's because you don't know the lifestyle of your prospect. And so when you share that this could be their car, or could be their grocery money, or could be their why.
I've been thinking about how to rebrand myself in a way this year. And when people ask me this number one question on this list, who are you and what do you do? My name's Lori. I am a beauty consultant and a photographer, and my passion is making women realize how beautiful they are. Not and selling them cosmetics. It's like that. So it's going to, and I'm still working on my terms or my words, but going to the heart of what I passionately believe.
Right.
And why I do what I do. Not that I can give you great skin, but that I can make you feel something. Right? So
Lori, I thought the same thing. I thought
my job is helping people feel good about themselves.
Right.
Or,
Right.
or my job is making people happy.
Yeah.
You know, because really, whether it is just giving somebody a facial and helping them feel good about their skin, or a makeover, or an opportunity to change their lives, or new friendships, or traveling. There's so many levels that that JAFRA touches lives. And getting back to the recognition, I remember when I first started and I was a single mom, and I remember going out and doing a party and coming home and counting the money. And I was a teacher full time, but I would come home and count the money that I'd made in that short time span. And it was like immediate recognition for how well I did the job, you know, for how I did. And I think that's a very important step in building self-worth. And I loved what Marie said about the value. But to get recognition for in a form of payment for a job well done, and then it helps build up the self-worth of the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really believe that many of us, at least I was, and I know many of my friends in JAFRA, we really had a need in our lives when we joined JAFRA, and maybe we weren't even aware of those needs, but the need for something more. We needed something more than what we had, and personal growth, whatever. But it was. I just can look around to many of my leader friends, and I know that was a need that was surprisingly filled by JAFRA. And once your cup is filled, then you in turn can turn around and help fill others, you know, but sometimes you have to have your own cup filled first. So anyway, that's
right. I agree.
There are many aspects of it.
Right.
So you guys, when you're looking at this story writer homework, this was given to us by Jackie, and probably, I mean, I know that Ivan and Scott are kind of on the same track. Answer these questions for yourself, like what we're saying, you know. So anybody else want to answer number one? Because now Jan and Marie and I have answered it. Anybody else have any thoughts? And you don't have to have the perfect answer, but what's going through your mind while we're talking?
I have been saying to people exactly that when people ask me what I do, because, you know, I feel stupid saying, oh, I'm a consultant for JAFRA skincare, because that's just not very interesting. And when you do, well, people, like you said, there's this
Like, what? Who?
What's that?
Yeah.
When people say, what do you do? And I say, well, my job is to help women look and feel better about themselves. It always causes people to go, what do you mean by that? How do you do that? And then you're able to move into whatever you think would pertain to them, what they would like to hear. A lot of times it's somebody that's at home and doesn't get out a lot, even if it's a young person or an older person. You know, there's just a lot of people like that, and they, you know, when you start talking about what you're doing and how you're helping women by feeling better about themselves and making more money if they want to. Money isn't always what people want.
Right.
And a lot of times they want friendship. And when you start talking to them, you can tell people are lonely. You know, they might have a job where they work with women, but they don't talk to them.
Right.
You know, a lot of times when I have friendships all over the US, and I love the women I work with, and they're just blown away because here they are in a job that, or in a situation where they don't like the people they're around. So it makes a difference. You have to kind of, and it is, it changes with their situation, basically, how you're going to approach it.
Yeah, mine is kind of along the same lines. I, of course, haven't answered all the questions, but I do say I'm a beauty consultant. I love to empower women to look good and feel good. So, like you said, it just opens the door with, oh, how do you do that? Well, I offer complimentary facials, or I do makeovers, or I offer relaxing spa experiences. I'm like, oh, let me do that.
You
I
can
want
even bring in,
There are a lot of women that don't pamper themselves and never have. They've never gone, I've talked to women that have never had a manicure. They've never had a foot soak or anything. They've never done any of those things. So that might really be something that they'd like to do, but they don't want to go pay somebody to do it or go into somewhere.
Well, who I am and what I do depends on who I'm speaking to. So if you're in need of a job, then I'm the person who can hire you. If you're in need of just a smile and just a moment to relax, then I can give you a hand treatment and make you smile. If you're in need of skincare, then I can come over and show you how you can look good every day. If you're in need of something for your family, I have that for you too. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't have a blanket. This is what I do. I wear too many hats. So it depends.
Right. So you say, Rhonda, this is not this is what I do, but this is who I am.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's it. But no matter what I'm talking about, JAFRA's always in there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? No matter what I'm having a conversation about, and it's a running joke that I know JAFRA has it. You can get it from JAFRA, because anybody knows that I'm gonna have a conversation. I'm like, you should try JAFRA. JAFRA has that. We have and it doesn't matter what it is or how it or what we're talking about or what event we have. I can find a way to throw JAFRA in there. I don't care whether it's a party. Everybody gets a JAFRA gift. Oh, you're having a baby shower? You can get a JAFRA gift. Oh, you're having you can get a JAFRA gift. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't care what it is. JAFRA is your way. JAFRA is a vehicle for you to do whatever it is that you need to do with your family, with your friends, whomever. And that's kind of how I go about it with my. And then the why is because I want to make people feel special, because that's how it made me feel.
Right.
So, what do you think about number 2? Why were you looking? Like, if you're so now you're in a conversation with someone, you're telling them a little bit more. Why were you looking? I guess why were you looking for JAFRA, or what drew you in? And you could go with how you joined at the same time.
Why I needed JAFRA is because I never wanted to be without my product. Never wanted to be without almond oil. Never wanted to have to rely on somebody else to get it for me if I could get it for myself. Why I stayed with JAFRA is because I never want to be without my product. I always want to have access to everything. Why I became a manager is because I didn't like the fact that I couldn't see my reports. I couldn't see what everybody else could see. Right? Am I Marie?
Yeah. So I can't click
people know things I don't know. I need to become manager.
I need to know. It was something that I was like, well, why can't I see this? And she was like, well, you have to be a manager for that. What? Oh no. So so I needed to be a manager so I can have information. You know what I mean? Because it was things I wasn't privy to because I was just a consultant. So I needed to get back to that status to where I can find out everything that I needed to know. Right. And I have access to everything.
So you needed value and you needed to feel important.
Right. And I'm nosy, and I needed to see everything that everybody else was seeing.
Right. You didn't want to be excluded.
Not at all. At
You
all.
want to be included. Right.
And so in my love for JAFRA, I needed to know everything that everybody else knew. And I needed how to be successful as well. Like, how was everyone else being successful? How did they get to where they were? When I look at like a Carmen Salcedo, I remember her being on stage, and they're reading her numbers, and I was thinking, really, she's making millions of dollars off of lipsticks? And it just, it changed my mindset. Like, oh, okay, if she did it, then I could do it. So what I was looking for was the success that other people had, and why couldn't I have it? Why wasn't I able to obtain it? And so I'm just going to continue on because I know I can get there. That's really where I'm at.
So if you have to end with the best part is, because we only have like 10 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes tops, but I'd really love to hear from all of you guys. You've said what you do and who you are, right? We had that kind of that first intro line when someone says, oh, what do you do for a living? So you've got that. And then you can go into why you were looking, how you joined, what impressed you the most, what's it doing for you now? And you have, all of those things. But if you can end with the best part is, and that's where if you're listening to that person, like Rhonda said, the best part is could be different depending on who you're talking to.
Right.
So for her, different, could be person to person, could be a totally different answer. But you should have some things that you kind of have in your mind. What's the best part about JAFRA for someone who needs a job? What's the best part about JAFRA for someone who needs good skin? You know what I'm saying? What is it? The best part for you? Kind of have your go-to and then have some other ones in your mind. So how would you guys answer that?
So for me, the best part is that you'll have me to help you along.
Nice. That really answers everything right there.
we all need a Rhonda on our team.
Right. And I'm here.
So the best part for me is the flexibility of this business. That, it allows me to, be available for many different aspects of my family, my children and grandchildren and my mom and all of those kinds of things. So.
Yep, I agree with you, Carolyn. That's for me too. It gives me the flexibility to be able to go visit my daughter in North Carolina, whatever I want, and the financial freedom to be able to do that as well too, because I get to create my own schedule and I get to create my own income as well too. So it gives me a lifestyle that I love and I would never give up. And I get to take a nap every day if I want to.
Hey, not until your kids are in school, just saying.
Yeah, it does. And it gets me connected with community. It gets me connected with other women. It gets me, we have to pick a word every year. Rhonda, we just did this, and last year my word was connect, and I just wanted to connect with JAFRA, connect with women, connect with the community, connect with my team, and JAFRA allows me to do that. And we did it again this year. Rhonda, your word was loving, which is awesome. And when you see, she loves to create a solution for women through JAFRA, and I think my word self-confidence, and that's what I do. I love to build confidence, love to build women. I love to build their confidence in who they are and the confidence in how beautiful they are when they look at themselves, that they can walk and they can look at themselves and be who they need to be.
Mm-hmm. And that's building that inner soul, that inner self.
Exactly. And that's what, because that's what JAFRA did for me. I mean, I always say, if you ever knew me before JAFRA, you would not have liked me. I was not a very nice person. I know you can't believe that, but
not at all, Marie.
Because it was all about me. It was never. Now it's all about other people. So it really, I forget. I don't know if it was Jan who said the personal growth and development that over the years you don't even realize that it's transforming you. I mean, that can be kind of scary to say to somebody though, like for your first meeting.
Yeah.
You go, I like myself. What do you mean I want to change?
But Marie is really great with that, and that's true. Like self-confidence, like after you're around her, you feel like you can take on the world. So, and we need people like that, around. And that's what a lot of the JAFRA women and men are. They make you believe in what they're selling or what they're sharing.
Right. And that's what he said we have to do. We have to be around and attract people who believe what we believe.
Right.
Not what we have, but what do we believe?
And if your tribe is people that believe what you believe, not just people who are buying your product,
Exactly.
like you said, that breeds loyalty, and your team's going to grow not because of you. I mean, other than you're leading and helping and supporting, they're going to grow because they believe it, not because you believe it. And you're like, come on, just become a manager already. They're like, I want to be a manager right now because I'm going to do this, and I know someone over here, and there's another girl over here, and I'm going to ask her, and I'm going to sponsor her, and it's going to happen because they believe it. You shared the opportunity, you shared the love, you shared the goal, you're loving them, but it's their love and their belief and their goal that gets them to explode. And that's what I just experienced with Becky, my manager. I sat back and watched her go crazy. I mean, I didn't sit back, but I was supporting her and training her as much as I could and all that. But she was going for it because she wanted it, not because I wanted it. I did, but she wanted it. And I didn't even talk about until toward the end, when she was already about to do it. That's when I told her how much it meant to me that she was going for it, because I didn't want to take away from her excitement and her joy. But for me, it was this huge moment of reaching a goal I had been trying to reach for so long. But it was really about her and her goal and her excitement and her reaching her goal. And in her doing that in her own way, in her own power, in her own love and her own desire, then my goals were reached. And that was so powerful for me and so exciting. And I really want to duplicate it like 10 more times this year.
We're on.
I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, but it's for me. Thank you, Gail. Pom poms. For me, it really is about what I am doing for that person, the things that I am, how it's changed their life, and the fact that I have a piece of that, and I have a part of that, and making someone feel more empowered, more beautiful, more strong, more confident. All of those things, that just lights me up. I love that. And on top of it, I'm getting something out of it, and I'm getting paid to do that. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's my like, wow, that's what I want, and I want more people like that, so we can all do that together and have fun doing it.
Yes, I agree.
And that's the whole thing. And I think that's got to be my focus this year, because talking about 50% commission and, all of this, other people have other commission structures and other products, and you know what I mean? It's like, that's not, it's part of it. Absolutely.
Right.
It is the what, it is the how, but it's not why we're doing this.
I know.
And
I can remember doing when I coach, it's like, what's the one thing that JAFRA has that makes it different from everybody else? It's not royal jelly. It's not 50% commission. It's not that we've been in business for 60 years. The one thing that JAFRA has that nobody else has is you. It has you, So I don't know. My screen just went crazy, but
I just stopped sharing.
But it has you. So what is it? You find out what you have that you can give to other people, and that's what makes you different. That's why people are going to come to you and come to JAFRA, other than for no other reason. It's because of you, and what you offer and what you bring to the table.
Relationship selling.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it was really, for me, watching that video explained why it works in a way that I get. Like it was so visual, and it was like, oh, that's why that works. Okay. Exactly. Like, I know it works, but I like to know why. Sometimes, I like to know why I do what I do. Kind of on that level. So it was so cool for me to see that and go, oh my gosh, this is what I've been talking about doing for a few weeks, and where my mind shift is going. And
Right.
hearing that was just like, okay, now I know I'm on the right track. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And it's scientific, you know what I mean? Because I'm kind of analytical myself, and it's
It's like, hey,
that's how the brain works. So,
but it gives us even more validity to do that. Like, it's not just some pie in the sky, oh, let's find our dream, let's find our why. No, this is science. It's biology. Like you said, it's not psychology, it's biology. It's your brain works this way. This is why we do this. This is why we should completely shift how we're talking. Not because JAFRA said to do it, or Jackie said to do it, or Lori said to do it, but because this is how brains work. Everybody's brain, not women's brains or men's brains or some kind of people's brains, but everybody's brains work this way.
right.
So,
So in adding to, the best part is, what he said that really struck me is, the best part is, if you're the kind of person, and you could say it to fit anything, if you're the kind of person that likes to control every aspect of your life, it's a business for you. You know that. And if you're the kind of person that wants the best products on the market, because some people are into it just for the product, this is the product business for you. Because you can have your business and have all your products that you want at 50, and then you can go into it more. But I love that. If you're the kind of person that, you can just go from there. The best part is, if you're the kind of person that wants whatever.
Right. You have to show them the picture. You got to create the vision for them. I love that too. Like, because that's when you think about when you were most successful and when you were sponsoring most or when you were booking most, really that's what you were doing, if you really think about it. Because I remember with the home shopper, I would always be like, well, if you don't ever want to run out of your product again, then you just need to sign up and be your own consultant. Why wouldn't you not do that? And they're like, oh, okay.
And that's what you sell, and that's what.
Well, exactly.
That's not what we're selling anymore. We're not selling that.
But even if that were the case, where you met somebody and she said, "Oh, I used to use JAFRA." Well, how come you stopped? Well, because I lost my consultant. Well, why don't we have a program now where you could actually join.
Right.
You could be
so that is actually why I joined JAFRA, because I did the product.
Just like
and
Rhonda.
What happened to me is, I had a very smart woman that signed me up, and she said, okay, you want to buy the products for yourself, that's fine, but you have to come to this meeting and learn how to buy the products and get the best deals. And then she showed me the income opportunity. And I was at a point where I wanted extra income. I was home with 2 kids. And it was just like the light bulb, okay, Lord, this is why you got me in this, And so that changed everything. So really, it's not giving them all the information at once, like you're saying. You sign them up for that, but then you take them to the next thing.
Right, because if somebody said to me, oh, I would love to do that, but then you could change your life, you could have, I'd say, no, you know what, I'm all set, never mind, because I don't want that. I don't want a business.
That's what we always do. We give them too much.
Yeah.
We just gotta get.
I was listening to some training, because I'm shifting a lot of things right now with photography and JAFRA and everything, and I was listening to training, and something she said was really kind of a light bulb for me. She said, people remember what they say, not what you say. So if you can get them to say, I want more money, I want whatever, if you can get them to repeat back to you what they want or what they see as, an answer from JAFRA, they'll remember that. They will not remember all the other words you said at all. That will completely not be there. But if they've said something in that conversation or in that sales session, if they say that they need, they want, they have, they like, whatever it is, they'll remember they said that more often than if. And I was like,
That's why you always
picture, if you will.
Right. And that's why, like you're saying, that's why we ask questions, right? And then, because then you figure out what we have that's going to, how we're going to talk, how we're going to talk about the dream, whatever, like Rhonda said. But yeah. Been a lot of light bulbs flashing in my office.
Yeah.
Thought I would share the light bulb glow with you guys.
Thanks for playing that, Lori. That was perfect. You know, it brought a whole new beginning of the year. Share your story, work on that, and it'll help us sponsor 5 via the action so that we can.
Yeah, you guys really need to be on that webinar tomorrow if you can with Scott and Ivan. I'm hoping they give us the how we're going to earn the summer trip. I know we don't find out where summer trip is until conference, but I'm hoping that they give us the lowdown on what we need to do to earn it tomorrow. That's supposedly we're supposed to be talking about summer trips. So, but in the action and in the leader business meeting, they mentioned both times sponsor 5 in January. So I don't know if it's a kickoff of the year. I don't know why they're saying that, but there's our challenge. 5 in January.
You're also saying that they changed something with earning the trip, so that will be interesting to find out, because I know a lot of people weren't happy with not knowing how.
They say it's open to everybody this time.
Right.
So
Which is awesome.
It's not just a few hundred or specific amounts.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
So
I'm excited to hear what they have to say.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. That's tomorrow at 2 on Beautiful for English, and Spanish is at 1, I believe, if you have any Spanish consultants. And it'll be recorded.
It's Pacific time, so.
Yes, Pacific time.
Thank you.
No, it's 9:30 here.
That's kind
Well, there's that.
You guys are gonna go have dinner, but we're going night-night.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you.
Lori, you were great again.
You're awesome.
Thank you very much. Very interesting.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to these every week. Thank you, Gail, with your purple pom-pom.
Thanks, Lori.
Okay.
Oh, yay.
Pretty.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.